city of Corinth, and on the other side was the city of Thebes.
In Corinth, there was a king Polypus and queen Merope. They were unable to have children. One day, a messenger came to them with a gift. It was a child he had found in the mountain. It had pain in its ankle. They decided to adopt the child and name him Oedipus, means swollen foot.
Oedipus grows up and his parents never told him he's adopted. One day, a man tells him he's adopted.
He runs to his parents to find the truth, but they denied. He decides to travel to the temple Apollo in Delphi. He talks to the oracle. She tells him that he will kill his father, marry his mother, and have incest union. He frightened by this prophecy. He says he will never return to Corinth again.
He ends up at a crossroad. He meets an old man and 5 servants. This man uses his gun and pokes Oedipus. Oedipus goes so upset, he kills the old man and 4 of the servants.
The last servant ran back to Thebes. Turned out the old man was the king of Thebes, King Laius. The servant lies to Laius' wife, Queen Jocasta, and says that the king and 4 servants were robbed and killed by a gang. That servant decides to retire and became a shepherd on the mountains.
After Oedipus murders 5 people, he meets the Sphinx. Sphinx is a monster with lion's body, wings, a woman head, and breast. The Sphinx asks Oedipus a riddle. If he gets it right, he lives. If he gets it wrong, he dies. She's so upset when he answers the riddle correctly. She falls off the mountain and dies. When Oedipus arrives in Thebes, he is seen as a hero.
Queen Jocasta needs a new king, so she marries Oedipus. He became king of Thebes. He's so ashamed of his past, he decides not to tell his new wife. But Queen Jocasta has a secret of her own.
When Jocasta was pregnant with her first child, there was a prophecy that he would kill his father, King Laius, and marry his mother, Jocasta.
This scared them. So when the baby was 3 days old, they put a pin in his ankle and told his servant to leave him on the mountain to die abandoned. The servant reported to Jocasta that the job was done, but he lied.
He gave the baby to a shepherd on the mountain. The shepherd gave the baby to the king and queen of Corinth. 20 years later, Oedipus and Jocasta have children.
Thebes is under the plague, leaving fields, cattle, and women barren.
Oedipus sends his brother-in-law Creon to the house of Apollo to find out how they can end this plague.
Creon returns and tells Oedipus when they find the killer of the previous king, the plague will end.
Oedipus promises to find the killer and punish him. Creon tells him that there is one witness, a shepherd that lives in the mountains.
Oedipus asks the people of Thebes if they know any information about the king's death. They tell him to send for the blind prophet Tiresias, but Oedipus has already done so.
When Tiresias arrives, he tells Oedipus that he does not want to hear the truth. Oedipus threatens him with death.
Tiresias says, Oedipus, you are the killer. Oedipus gets mad and takes this as insult. Tell him he is no prophet and assumes Creon paid him to say that.
Tiresias says that even though he himself has no sight, it's Oedipus who is blind to the truth. He also says that he's living in a sin by being married to his mother.
Creon in tears with furious that Oedipus would say that.
Jocasta comes and tries to get them to stop fighting. Jocasta calms Oedipus, altering hearing what the prophet had said. She claims it is impossible for him to have killed Laius.
But when she described Laius, it matched the description of the old man he killed years ago.
Oedipus sent for the one witness. While he waited, he told Jocasta about his past, his family, the prophecy, and the story to the old man.
Jocasta is on her way to the temple when she finds a messenger with news from Corinth. Oedipus' father, Polypus, is dead.
Oedipus is happy to hear this, but he is still afraid to return to Corinth because of the rest of the prophecy.
The messenger tells him that he has nothing to worry about. Curious, everyone asks why.
The messenger tell him years ago that one of Lace's servants gave him a baby. He decides to give the baby to the king and queen Corinth. This baby was Oedipus, so Polypus and Merope were not really his parents.
Oedipus wanted to speak to the servant right away. Once Jocasta put the pieces together, she begged Oedipus to drop it, but he refused.
So Jocasta ran inside the kettle. When the servant arrived, he told Oedipus that it was true. He was told to leave Laius and Jocasta first child on the top of mountain, but he chose to give it to the shepherd.
Oedipus is enraged and grabs his sword. He has the intent to kill his wife, but when he enters her room, he finds that she had already hung herself.
He pulls the brooches from her dress and gouges his eyes out. He claimed he had done so many bad things, so he shall never see again. Oedipus followed through with his promise to punish the killer of Laius. He leaves Creon to take care of his children and punish himself.